Russia's great painter of seascapes was Ivan Aivazovsky. Nobody in Russia depicted the sea the way that he did. The Ninth Wave is one of the artist's most celebrated works. Quiet life of the Russian provinces, the world of peasants, estate owners and townsfolk are the themes in the paintings of Venezianov, Soroka and Tropinin. The most important thing in these works, however, is not their subjects, but the moving state of sadness and joy at life, the contemplative calm of their characters. It is a direct route from the image of the common person to the models chosen by Fedotov and Perov. Themes of everyday existence, the reflection of real-life situations increasingly became subjects for depiction. In the middle of the 19th century, a new stylistic tendency coalesced and developed, the art of critical realism. A move from the quiet charm of the simple, unheroic person and everyday life to the tragic dissonance between people and their circumstances, the contradictions between the individual and society. The itinerants is the name that became attached to an association of realist artists in Russia. They practiced a new form of contact with the public through the organization of traveling or itinerant exhibitions in different cities around Russia. Nikolai G., Ivan Kramskoy, Nikolai Yaroshenko, Vasily Surikov, irrespective of whether they formally belonged to the Society for Itinerant Art Exhibitions, they all consistently implemented its ideas. One of the best known of the itinerants was, and still remains, Ilya Repin. The Russian Museum is proud to possess his famous barge haulers on the Volga. The Zaporozhye Cossacks writing a mocking letter to the Turkish Sultan. The State Council in formal session, and a whole series of splendid portraits. Repin was one of those artists who are constantly seeking new themes and subjects, new images and means of expression. On display in the Russian Museum are splendid examples of the landscape painting produced in the second half of the 19th century. Works by Ivan Shishkin, Vasily Polenov, Alexei Savrasov, Fyodor Vasilyev, Arkhip Kuinji, and Isaac Levitan. The splendid works of Valentin Serov, Boris Kostodiev, Nikolai Rurich, Mikhail Vrudel, and Konstantin Korovin represent this complex period of innovative searches. At the turn of the 20th century, the most varied tendencies, groupings and associations appeared and developed in Russian art. Each of them strove to demonstrate the validity of its own artistic principles. A considerable role in the history of Russian culture was played by the artistic association known as Mir Iskусств. Many noted artists belonged to it in the course of its existence, including Alexander Benois, Konstantin Somov, Leon Bakst, and Yevgeny Lanceray. All these very different artists were united by protest against so-called official or excessively socially engaged art. In Art Nouveau works, the world of nature with which the human being merges is reflected in the mirror of art, turning into a fanciful, refined ornament, a whimsical, decorative combination of colours, volumes, patterns and rhythms. Sinuous curves, scintillation, and almost morbid fracturedness, the refinement of the artist's imagination and skills conspired to carry him away from all things familiar and customary. As the new century advanced, all the more or less traditional manifestations of Russian art were decisively challenged by a new trend that united artists who declared themselves antagonists and destroyers, rejecting all that had been done before them, all established rules and doctrines. The Russian avant-garde emerged onto the world's cultural stage.